I just want to start off and say thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to work with all of y'all, and it's really important resource that I think that more faculty should use. So really what I'm going to talk about today is really twofold. One is student-initiated learning with interactive tools, and I'm really going to focus on the use of Jamboard, and I'm also going to focus on how you can integrate Jamboard to be an asynchronous technique as well as a synchronous technique with the use of breakout groups. So with that being said, I'm just going to go over a little bit about what Jamboard is. It's actually a Google product, and it kind of works like a slide deck in many ways, but it has very different features that you can annotate. You can use sticky notes, and we'll go through this and we'll do a live. Most of my talk is actually going to be us working together through these process. And you're able to interact with various forms of material. So for example, I'm going to be talking a little bit about, even though I'm in the arts, my demonstration is talking about how to teach anatomy to dancers who are kinesthetic learners, and what does that look like? And how another really important thing is they can reuse the material that you use in the Jamboard. You can set within your Canvas, you can give them the link to the Jamboard, that you can set clear ones so they can clean off and use it as a review tool, which I really like when it especially comes to anatomy. And the other thing is that you can use it as a guiding building block for your materials. So maybe that you have to do something that's more rote, and then you can build it onto something more application based. So with that being said, I will go ahead and actually put this link into the chat. Okay, so here you go. So here's the link to the Jamboard. So we're going to stop sharing, and I'm actually going to go to the Jamboard, new share. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to just briefly, can everyone see my Jamboard?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to break you up in groups. It looks like we have 54 individuals. So we'll break you up into groups. Normally I would do this within groups of, max 4 students. But what I'm going to do here, just because we have a large number of individuals, I'll break you up into groups. Okay. So what we're going to do here is your group number is going to be what slide on the Jamboard that you're actually going to work on. And I do understand that maybe anatomy is not your strengths, but it's just an activity to just show you how we can interact within the material. So Megan, whenever you're ready, what we're going to do is each group is going to use whatever. If you're group number 1, you're going to use slide number 1 on the Jamboard. If you're group number 2, you're going to use slide number 2, and I'll give you around a minute and a half to do the activity, and then we'll come back and discuss it, and then we'll move on to the next activity. You can use the Jamboard and I put a bunch of different examples that you can use the drawing tool. You can also use the tool as using the Post-its. You can use it to do and ask different types of questions. And so one of the building activities that I do a lot, because I do teach in the arts, is I take Jamboard and I use it as a tool to create what is in their craft, which is dance movement. So if everyone could go to slide number 9, and maybe just because of time, we'll do this together. So let me share my screen and we'll go to slide number 9 together. All right, so you can see on slide number 9, what I like to do is after we go over some particular material, then whatever the body part that we're working on the week, then we create movement phrases. So one of the things that you can do is, so for example, what are some of the body parts that one of the groups had?
Our group had the knees.
Okay, so not to put you on the spot, or somebody else in your group, what maybe could be a quick little movement phrase that you would do with your knees?
Lunges.
Yeah, lunges, right? And so then one of the things that, I'm not quite for sure that's a dance move, but maybe we could, right? But it's a movement, right? So the idea is then once the student, then they apply, okay, what muscles are attached to the knee? So you build upon, and those muscles they went over within their Jamboard. So then you connect the two to the activity.
right? So the actual identifying what the muscles were, the bones, and how they actually relate to movement, and they apply it. And then I assign, each person there's a demonstrator and a reporter, and they have to report what is actually the activity that they're doing and how does it apply to their craft. So that in general is how I use Jamboard for you teaching anatomy. The other thing that's really great about it is that I post clear Jamboards for them, because one of the things that teaching anatomy without having them having their skeletons like able to touch them, that's something that we do live, is this gives them the ability to actually do some of the labeling and looking at the muscles and then translate it into their craft. So I think that you're able to use it in a synchronous and asynchronous way and they can review the material and they can use it as a review guide, but then also I assign it as homework assignments, and they come back and they have to discuss it and create small presentations on what they have done within the Jamboard.